What's going on, YouTube? Do you all see that beatdown of Tom Brady and the Patriots? As a diehard Bronco fan, I can't stand the Chiefs. But you know what I hate more than the Chiefs? Tom Brady. Can't stand that guy. Because he is so good. So I know I probably have some New England fans that watch, and much respect. I grew up watching John Elway. I still think he's the greatest ever. But what Tom Brady has done is pretty amazing. It's never been done before. Anyways, on my lunch today, went into Dollar Tree, and about once a month at Dollar Tree, if you hit them at the right time, you get the freshies on the Matchbox. And this thing right here is sick. It looks so clean. Such nice details for a mainline. Matchbox is killing Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels don't even come close to comparing with Matchbox license. Now, I'm speaking of licensed models now. On the fantasy stuff, they both suck equally. But on the licensed models, Matchbox is crushing it. And you know, with Matchbox, I really don't want to see... I don't want to see graphics. I don't want to see utility liveries or racing liveries or police liveries. I just want to see civilian models. That's all I want to see. And this thing right here is sweet. So when I say Matchbox smashes Hot Wheels, pretty much from top to bottom. The casting just all the way around looks better. The tampos look better. There seem to be a lot less misplacements with the tampos. Side view mirrors. Very few Hot Wheels have that feature. The wheels are so much nicer on the Matchbox. Hot Wheels wheels are terrible. You know, there was a lot of buzz about the new Steelies that came out on the old, what was it, an old Chevy pickup or whatever. Everybody's like, oh, finally Hot Wheels making a decent wheel. They suck. You can't even tell it's a Steely. They don't look good. Matchbox, though, some clean looking casting. So there's the Chrysler. Also found this thing. This is a new tooling from Matchbox. And it is full on sick. Need Greenlight to put this one together now, along with the Unlimited. But check this thing out. Even the tires, I guess they could, if they wanted to, they could make these white lettering, but you got Matchbox tires. That is dope. And this almost looks like a full size. I like how they molded the same wheel into this. Now this is part of the interior and this running board, so looks like it's part of the, it's not just a tire attached, it's part of the whole molding. Makes you wonder, are they ever going to switch the wheels on this? Because now if they do that, they're going to have a mismatch wheel. By the way, these are new wheels and tires for Matchbox, and they look great. I think these might be my favorite off-road wheels. But just look at the detail. I mean, it's a simple civilian model, basic color, no funny graphics, no mountain parks, or, you know, just none of the goofy graphics that I'm just not a fan of. Brake light detail. Now, obviously, that's not extremely detailed, but at least it's detailed. No headlight detail, but really nice sculpted detail. The hinges are all detailed. Side view mirrors on this as well. Very, very nice casting. I really dig it. I dig it. We got the, what is this model called anyways? The Jeep Gladiator. So we got the Gladiator parked back right next to the Wrangler. All right, these last two, I was pretty happy to find. This one here is the first one that I saw, and I've been looking for it. I was pretty stoked to find this because this little car here, one of the nicest license models they brought out in a while, in my opinion. It looks really, really good for a dollar car. It's an ugly car, so I mean, I'm not going to compliment the car, but the execution of the car is something that Matchbox hit a home run with, in my opinion. It's the 2015 BMW i3. So, got the sunroof. A lot of detail here you can see. Now that's part of the base, but the blue is just a graphic, Tampo graphic, detailed back end. And basically, last year in 2016 at the Matchbox gathering, Matchbox made a commitment to collectors, and they said, we're going to get more aggressive with the licensed models, we're going to do less fantasy stuff, and we're going to focus on putting less plastic in the licensed models. More metal, less plastic. So a good example is the Toyota FJ. It used to be an all die-cast body, and then to cut back, they incorporated a lot of plastic into the fenders and stuff like that. So they're going to shy away from that, and I think because what they have to do is balance the cost. So what they should do is just put all of the savings in the fantasy cars. Make them all plastic for all I care, because I won't buy them anyways. Every now and then I'll buy a fantasy car. It's not very often, and it takes a unique car for me to pick those up. But again, side view mirrors. It's just a really cool little car. Little Beamer. And then the last one that I found, I saw this on, I think it was Lamley back before the cases hit. And I was like, man, I gotta find one of those. It's a 1990 Volkswagen. 1990 Volkswagen Golf. But look at the detail on this. The body on this thing is nice enough with the right amount of detail. It would look like a premium model, in my opinion. Put some little all-terrain tires on there and just detail up the trim and the headlights and taillights. The thing would look awesome. Throw a rubber spare on there. This is another model from Matchbox that they did an amazing job with. Now, this is kind of what I'm talking about. So you've got the mountain range and the country on the side. Personally, I would have rather seen brake lights and indicators. But looking at it, it looks like that would have taken a little bit more Tampo than the side graphics, but it definitely would have looked better. But anybody with a steady hand, you know, I've said this, when there's enough sculpted detail like there is here, anybody with a steady hand can get that detailed right. A lot of times, even if there's not sculpted detail, if you have a good hand and a good eye, you can get it done. But check this out. You have windshield wipers molded into the windshield. You also have one molded into the back. Something else you could do with your steady hand is give those a streak of black. These wheels look pretty dope on this thing. I think those might be new wheels too. Well, maybe not. Maybe we've seen those. It's got a really aggressive stance. Good clearance. Let's take a look at some of these other ones. See, this one does not have wiper blades. The BMW does, but they're pretty low. But they are there, even on the back. It's the little details that matter. This one's got them. So anyways, I don't like spending a lot of time doing this type of stuff because it's just not that interesting, and You can pretty much find this type of stuff at your local Kroger or Walmart or whatever, or in this case, Dollar Tree. But these models are pretty brand new and they're pretty awesome, so I figured I would show them. And then while showing them, I figured I would show a couple of more premium cars. With the BMW i3, we're talking about a car that is built on fuel efficiency. So I broke out a premium brand car, also built on fuel efficiency. I don't know enough about it to know if it's a hybrid or not. So I really don't know. This is something Lamar Fashion would know about this car. But this is a little Honda. The little Honda that could. And it's just a little Honda City. It's a really cool little model. I've never seen one of these in real life. I don't think they're available commercially in the US. But it's sweet looking. I like this little oddball stuff like this. You know, a lot of collectors have no interest in this, and I'm okay with that. It keeps the prices of these down. I think you can pick one of these up for $10 or something like that, which is pretty good for a Kyosho Honda, because usually Kyosho Hondas are expensive, and I have around 50 Kyosho cars, and I think only 2 of them are Hondas. So they didn't make a whole bunch of them. I'd like to get those new NSXs that came out. But anyways, this is a cool little casting. I figured I would show that. Really nice roller. Rubber tires. True to scale. Just to give you a scale reference. Let's go with the Jeep. Actually, let's go with the Chrysler, because it's probably a more known. Here's your scale reference. It is much smaller, but much cooler. A great little detailed car for a little cityscape, if you're into the diorama thing. So anyways, there's that one. And then, in celebration of this awesome car, I'm going to show another one here that's been seen multiple times on my channel, but I like looking at it. So from time to time, I bring it out because in my opinion, this right here is the nicest 1/64 scale model of this car available. I personally think this is nicer than the Tomica Limited Vintage, though a lot of people would argue that. In my opinion, I think the execution is better on the Kyosho in this case. Now, that's not always the case, but in this case, it is my opinion that Kyosho did a better job. Now, this is a 2-door, and it's probably a different year. I don't think Kyosho puts the year on the vehicle, but it is a GTI. It's a metal body, plastic base, rubber tires with tread, and just among the best detail that you'll find in this scale. Great car. The proportions are great. Just like everything else with Kyosho, the stance is really good. All the details are precise down to the gas cap there. Prototypical wheels, which look incredible in my opinion. I think this is a pretty common look with steel wheels, and you know, you see companies like Auto World and Greenlight try to replicate this look, and I think Greenlight does an okay job of it, but they don't even compare to these in my opinion. So a very cool car. Insert lensed headlights, painted indicators on the bumper. Insert lens taillights and indicators. Volkswagen Golf GTI. This is going to be closer to scale. A lot of times Matchbox will actually tell you what the scale is on the bottom of the car, but in this case it is not on there. This is bigger though. It's a little bit bigger than 1:64 scale. Well, the Jeep doesn't say it either. You know, it seems like they've been doing it a lot less lately. It used to be a pretty common thing with them, where they would put the scale on the base. That Chrysler doesn't have it. What about the Beamer? I doubt it does. That's the one car I'd be the most interested in the scale, is that BMW. Anyways, for a scale reference, let's take a look here. The Matchbox is definitely bigger by quite a bit. So, but you know, with Matchbox and Hot Wheels, they are trying to fill a blister. So it's more about the 3-inch thing than it is scale. But personally, I would rather have the scale. You know, one of the things I think M2 did with the Auto Japan line to keep the cost down, because that had to be an expensive venture to go out and get that licensing. So I think one of the things they did to keep the cost down is they really scaled the size of the cars down, because those are pretty darn close to 1:64. And if you look at their other stuff, like the old 50s models, Chevys, and the cameos and that kind of stuff, a lot of that stuff is bigger than 1:64. Not all of it, but a lot of it is. A lot of it seems really close though too, like the 69 Roadrunner seems pretty close to scale. The Ford Falcon club wagons, the Ford F100s, those cars seem pretty close. But to me, as a general rule of thumb, it seems like M2s run a little bit larger, which to me isn't a big deal. Johnny Lightning tends to run a little bit smaller. So if you're in that range from Johnny Lightning to M2 and anything in between, if your detail's good, then I'm good with it. I'll probably buy it. But anyways, so just figured I would throw this video up after the game. I'm going to head to bed. Tomorrow's Friday. We can all finish up the week with a bang. Get ourselves some awesome diecast. I've got an awesome package showing up tomorrow. It's a car that doesn't show up very often. You don't see it very often. So I'm excited to get it. I'm excited to crack it open out of the blister and show you guys what it is. And we'll talk about that tomorrow night. But until then, thanks for watching. You all have a good night, and I will holler at the next one.